I need to charge this thing. What the heck? All right. Is there any music I could do?
This music.
Is that what's playing in the game right now?
Yeah.
What fragrances?
It won't play it when I start playing, though.
Okay, so we've got the new setup. Put this in the back. Bam, bam. We'll do these together.
Why do you love cologne so much?
Hey, because I do. But guess what? I'm live, so no more talking. All right, I need, maybe we'll go over here and call that a day. I need to put something in the background, though. What's going on, guys? What's up? Stroll on in. We got open Q&A. If you have any questions about fragrance, let me know. We're just doing a brief hangout here with the community. We always do this. We go live a couple times a week to see what you guys... Oh, I actually got to put some new ones up. Where is my Amir Celestial? Cool. Ask away, boys and girls. What fragrance questions do y'all have, man? Let me know. Scent of the day. For me, what did I put on today? What is the scent of the day? Oh, African leather. African leather. Probably if you're one of those people who's into Parfums de Marly Carlisle, you will absolutely love African leather. Super good. Super good. One of the biggest sleeper fragrances out there. Where is my Amir Celestial, Miles? Do you know? The blue bottle?
The blue?
Yeah.
No.
You don't see it anywhere? I have got to find that. Got to get some of my peoples in here. Joel, where you at? Let me put this back a little bit. There you guys go, so you can see the whole collection. I actually am cleaning some of my stuff up right now. Man, Amir really does it nice, don't they? I mean, look at that presentation. You get that in a presentation, you're feeling good about yourself. Nice colors, too. The pastel on gold. Very nice. Beautiful. It almost looks as good as Amir Celestial. Almost. Matter of fact, I know where my Amir Celestial is. If any of y'all have any questions in the meantime, post it in chats. Top 5s, top 10s, any personal questions, etc. Yo, it's so ironic that Greenlee typed first in the chat because I just smelled Greenlee earlier today. I went to, I made this announcement to y'all, man. I went to Neiman Marcus yesterday and absolutely went crazy. I mean, imagine every niche designer you can think of with all of their fragrances on display. Now, every fragrance I have behind me, doesn't matter if it's an inspiration or whatever, I've smelled the originals, I have the originals and samples, but to go there and try the entire line from everything, from all niche brands, was just insane. I mean, I went absolutely insane. Picture Chanel, everything from Chanel. And when I say everything, I'm talking like 50 bottles of Chanel out on deck. everything Tom Ford, over 100 bottles of Tom Ford from in front of the counter on the glass. You could try them. Parfums de Marly, Mind Games, Amouage, Bond Number 9, Creed, Maison Francis Kirkjohn, Frederick Malle. Everyone had a specific representative out on the floor showcasing fragrances to me, and it was an absolute treat. I probably tried over 50 fragrances. I've got samples. I immediately came home and did 30 reviews, 30 full-length reviews on all niche. So those are all queued up, and it was just nuts. I mean, I not only had about 70 fragrance reviews on deck ready for you guys, but I put another 30 of just straight niche. Everything that people talk about, from Mind Games, Mentor, Frederick Malle Portrait of a Lady, everything from Creed, everything from Byredo. I mean, it was just every niche Tom Ford that you guys have wanted to put your nose on outside the common ones like Tobacco Vanille and all that. Like, we're talking the niche ones, you know, Ebony Fume. There was just so much. I mean, it was so abundant there that it was overwhelming. Like, I'm going to have to go back tomorrow or sometime this week and get another round for you guys in, because when it comes to niche, there was over 100K sitting out on the table just there. Okay, let's go through some questions real quick before I go grab my Amir fragrance out the car. How is everybody's scent of the day? Maison Alhambra Glacier Le Noir. What is that a clone of, Greenlee? I'm unfamiliar. I mean, I've heard the name, but I haven't put my nose to that yet. What an impressive collection. What's the current fragrance for spring 2025? Is this officially spring? It's crazy because in Arizona, it's spring, summer weather year round. We only around December, October-ish get the cold weather, and it's still cold here. So it's not really that warm weather spring. So I'm still trying to milk out all my cold fragrances. I haven't quite transitioned yet into like spring, sunny day weather fragrances yet. But with that being said, my fragrance of the day today was African Leather from Memo Paris, which is a spring, summer fragrance, surprisingly. But this, to me, in the DNA that it is top 2 best fragrances in that space. This sharing a spot with Parfums de Marly Carlisle. Carlisle's kind of that apple pie masculine take. This is a little bit more zingy. I have a famous video on YouTube right now titled Expensive Tiger Piss, and that's what this is. This is like a very zingy, like King of the Jungle, slight apple pie, but way more radiant masculine ambery. It's very ambery, but there's a bunch of zing going on in the form of citrus and vetiver that just makes it a super warm. I mean, this fragrance is like, you hit the dance floor with this fragrance, you're picking up anybody. The waft is crazy, the projection's insane, the longevity is 10 plus hours, and this fragrance is awesome. If you can't afford the real thing, definitely transition to Maison Alhambra's Afro Leather, because it's a 1 of 1, 10 out of 10 clone as well. And so you can get African Leather instead of $300-400, you can get it for like 20. I'd love to make Greenlee my signature scent, but man, too much money. So I look for clones. Greenlee's good, man. Greenlee's good. It was decent when I tried it yesterday. I actually was just looking at, this is how they give out samples at the Bond Number 9 station at Neiman's. You get a bunch of Tootsie Roll looking things. 2-3 mLs of all their fragrances. So I actually bought Bond Number 9's New York Flowers for the wifey. Absolutely stunning presentation and great floral fragrance for women, because it's hard to pick fragrances for my wife, but I knew she would absolutely love that one, and she did. The red bottle is Habit Rouge or Hermes. Red bottle. Neither. This is a clone of L'Homme Ideal Extreme from Guerlain, and this is Supreme L'Homme from fragrance world, eau de parfum. So we've got that cherry almond, classy champagne vibes. And I was actually very surprised that this is almost dead ringer to Guerlain. I have the original Guerlain behind me down there in the supply bin, that right there. And this was 1-to-1. I actually reviewed Guerlain's Low Midi All Extreme last week, and that'll be coming out this week. So I was able to confirm just how close this is, and I would call it like 95 out of 100% close. Very good. Cherry almond champagne is what I think is the best name for it. It's just very classic. Hard to find like a singular fruit classy fragrance, but that's absolutely one of them. Habit Rouge, I don't really rock. For Baccarat Rouge, I pretty much always go to Club de Nuit Untold as probably top 2 best Baccarat Rouge 540 clones. I don't wear Baccarat Rouge. It's too sweet for me. Do you have Lattafa Camera? I do, but what I recommend over Camera is obviously Camera Kawa. To me, that caramel latte, people say coffee. I don't like that people say coffee with this fragrance because even though that's what's listed, that's not what you smell. What you smell is caramel latte, not the most black coffee vibe. It's more sweetened, milky caramel latte with the Camera original DNA. Slightly less sweet, but because of that, it's more true to masculine, perfect unisex. I felt like Camera was a unisex fragrance that was feminine leaning just due to the sweetness. And it didn't have a lot of depth, but that coffee note gives it the depth that it needed to really feel like a powerhouse fragrance. So this is what I recommend to folks is Kawa over Camera any day of the week. Is Versace Eros good? Versace Eros is phenomenal. Doesn't matter whether you go eau de toilette, eau de parfum, parfum. I personally would recommend, if you're an older male, go with the parfum. If you're 25 and down, eau de parfum or eau de toilette will be the best. Eau de toilette will be the loudest, most projective, and you can pretty much get 100 ml for around 60 bucks. So to me, this is the biggest utility fragrance, slight seductive, extremely fresh. Any season, any reason, any age, any occasion. You could dress it up, you could dress it down. As Jeremy Fragrance says, this is one of the most versatile fragrances of all time, aside from Acqua di Gio Armani. Guerlain is my personal favorite. Are you talking about everything from the house, Sanid, or are you just talking about L'Homme Ideal? I'm curious. What's up, James? How are you, buddy? 1 second, guys. Pop in your questions more in the chat. I'm going to go grab another fragrance I left in the car to put out on display. I will be right back. Miles, do you know where my keys are, buddy?
No.
Okay.
Maybe you put them on the thing.
All right. Okay, let's see if there are any more questions. What's the best winter scent for work or school? I would probably recommend 2 different ones, Chase, because those are 2 different occasions. For school, you probably want more utility. For work, you want to be slightly more semi-formal. Okay, so for work, a great utility office fragrance that has signature is going to be Ferragamo's Bright Leather. You can get this at TJ Maxx or anywhere online right now for about 25 to 30 bucks for a 50 ml. Great bottle presentation, extremely versatile. Don't think leather when you hear bright leather. It's not your traditional super masculine leather. This is a more commercial, highly mass consumable leather that focuses on a ton of citrus drowning out the leather. The leather note is almost undetectable, but what you get from the leather is a serious level of masculine sophistication, but it's very bright, it's invigorating, it's exciting to wear. Very easy wear in the office, and you will turn heads while still being subtle. Even though this is decent projection, probably 5 out of 10 projection, it's going to be the fragrance where they're not going to smell you from a distance, but anywhere you walk, you're going to leave a nice scent trail, and extremely versatile for the work environment. So I'd probably recommend Ferragamo Bright Leather for work and for school. Let's see, for school. For school, I would probably pop out with something like this. This is the clone of Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum, Club de Nuit Iconic. This is Bleu de Chanel, but way better performance. This is going to be 10 hours plus. It's extremely fresh. It does have the slightest tinge of blue shower gel to it, which is actually nice because it adds to the projection and sillage. But for 20 bucks, 100 ml large bottle, you cannot beat Iconic. This is absolutely an incredible utility fragrance. If you want something a little bit more low-key fresh and not shower jelly, I would say you can go to Lattafa Sacrat, which is Acqua di Gio Armani Profumo for $20. You can get it on Amazon right. Gio DNA with the tiniest bit of incense to make it super masculine and sophisticated. That's another more clean-shaven version of Bleu de Chanel. Not in terms of DNA, but in terms of vibe. You're going to feel rich. You're going to feel versatile, and it's really dumb reach. You can grab it for anything. Is that a Caron fragrance I see? No, it is not. Majority of the products I like, Vetiver and L'Homme Ideal, are very seductive, very rare to find. You know, Vetiver, to me right now, the best Vetiver fragrance on the market without question is Vetiver Sensual from Mancera. I actually, at Neiman's yesterday, was trying Chanel's Sycamore, which I think is very close to this, but this is brighter, slightly sweeter, more ambery. Sycamore is drier, more earthy, but similar composition. But Vetiver Sensual, without question, is the best Vetiver fragrance on the market right now. Maybe second to what is the fragrance from Hermes? Terre de Hermes. L'Homme Ideal is definitely very seductive. Very rare to find similar compositions. I think it should be rare because that cherry almond champagne sophistication is not a DNA that you really want to clone too much outside of the original. You don't really want to deviate from cherry almond. Once you put something else with that composition, it doesn't pair well, is what I've found. Have you tried J. Dot fragrances? I have not. Which one should I try? Do you have any oud fragrances? Yeah, I have a couple of ouds. So, obviously, Oud for Greatness by Initio. This is the clone Oud for Glory. I think it's 10 out of 10 close to Initio's Oud for Greatness. I call it the Great Gatsby fragrance. I have Oud and Rose in the form of Amethyst. I don't recommend that fragrance, even though it is a very good alternative to Atomic Rose, I believe. Another Oud fragrance. There's one or two more. Oud Satin Moods clone, which is Ministry of Oud Satin. To me, this is 10 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10 at the very lowest to Oud Satin Mood. I actually think this is better than Oud Satin Mood because Oud Satin Mood is so nuclear, it's not even funny. This dials it down 1 or 2 notches, but the exact same DNA composition. Very good fragrance. Oud Satin from Ministry of Oud. Rose Oud combination. Any of those would be absolutely stellar. Do I have any more oud fragrances? I do. I just don't see them on the shelf right now. But those are very good starting places for fresh, non-animalic oud. Bleu de Chanel Club de Nuit Intense isn't a better clone. Club de Nuit Intense is not a Bleu de Chanel clone. Club de Nuit Iconic is the Bleu de Chanel clone. And to me, it's top 2. And I think it's probably top 1 compared to the other ones that people normally mention. I think Iconic just gets the best performance, and it's the closest to the Eau de Parfum rendition. Winter Work, Ferragamo. Oh, thank you, Greenlee. Greenlee, thank you so much for that. Have you tried Mancera Cedrat Boisé? Yes, I was about to ask about Mancera. Yes. To be honest, I don't recommend Cedrat Boisé. I've seen and done a lot of field study with women, and women feel like Cedrat Boisé belongs on an old man, 40 and up, which sucks because most people that get into Cedrat Boisé today are younger people, 35 and down. So it's unfortunate because Cedrat Boisé, even though it smells good, it has an old vibe to it. So I always point people to Amir Cedrat Essence, which is Cedrat Boisé exactly to a T, 90%, 9 out of 10 closeness. And the 10% that it's not like it, they've added a green honeydew melon note to it. So it makes it way more modern, way more commercial, way more upscale, fresh, new, and innovative. And this is actually what Cedrat Boisé should be today, in my opinion. This is better than Cedrat Boisé. 70 ml, I believe, 70 or 75 ml, $20, $25 on fragrancebuy.ca, and probably 30-ish bucks on Joma Shop or any of the other places you normally shop. It's even on Amazon. So Amir Cedrat Essence is what I recommend over Mancera. I don't think in today's market, Mancera's Cedrat Boisé is worth purchasing unless you're above 40 years old. Yes, what do you think about Azzaro's Tomorrow Parfum? It's okay. I still think Azzaro Most Wanted EDP is going to be the best Azzaro fragrance to get. But Azzaro's entire line, including Chrome and all that stuff, is still okay. I would say 7 or 8 out of 10 in terms of uniqueness, formula, longevity, etc. But I think the Most Wanted EDP is always going to be notoriously the best fragrance from that line. So you might get a 8 out of 10 fragrance that's slightly above average, but the Most Wanted is notoriously a 9 out of 10, even a 10 out of 10 signature designer affordable fragrance that most people rock with. Oh, come here. Louie, get over here. Wow, my cat just ran off. What other questions y'all have for me, man? Here, as y'all are bringing in the questions, I'm going to go take a piss real quick. So I'm going to put this right up to my collection. You guys can look at my bottles. I have probably over 150 samples down here. But as far as bottles, I'll let you guys just take a look at the collection. I'm going to take a piss real quick. You guys can let me know any questions you have. I'll get you some lunch in just a second, buddy. Okay, what other questions y'all got? Oh shoot, my coffee almost spilled. That would have been a travesty. We can't find Creed Parfum clones that easily. Yes, you can. In fact, I went to Neiman Marcus yesterday and I smelled the entire Creed line. A Creed representative showcased everything that you can imagine from Creed. They had about 15 Creed fragrances, all the most worn and most sold fragrances out. And I tried them all. And I compared them to all of my clones and inspiration fragrances. And I feel like 90% of the entire Creed line has phenomenal clone alternatives. If we're talking Creed Aventus, you have Offnon Collector's Edition, Offnon Supremacy Collector's Edition right here, which is kind of a cross between Aventus Absolute and Nishane Hasavat. You have pre-show, I believe, from either Offnon or Latafa. I think it's Latafa pre-show, which is closer to a fresher take, I would say, than less oak moss. And then you have like 5 different Creed Aventus clones that are lower tier than that. Your Club de Nuit, your L'Aventure, you know, I've gone through this many times. Silver Mountain Water, Offnon Supremacy in Heaven is a great alternative. Millesime Imperial, you have Club de Nuit Milestone, excellent clone of that. You have Creed's Royal Oud, which I recently tried yesterday. Ministry of Oud, Oud Royal is a great clone of that. Green Irish Tweed, you have Très Nuit from Armagh, great clone of that. What else? What are the other top ones that are worn? Virgin Island Water has an excellent clone. I mean, like I said, almost the entire line has Creed alternatives that I think are super recommendable, and I tried them all yesterday. Boy de Portugal, even. To me, and I've confirmed this now twice with a Creed representative, and I tried this in real time. I even did reviews of this yesterday. Now, Boy de Portugal from Creed came out in 1987. So technically, this designer house that I'm about to mention actually cloned the Creed fragrance, and they are not a clone house. Lalique is very well-known designer brand, but they cloned Boy de Portugal to a T, and they actually made it with better performance. And that is Lalique's Pour Homme Lion. $20 to $25, 100 ml bottle. This is probably one of the closest clones I have ever seen done in real time. This is Boy de Portugal in a bottle with better performance. There's no deviation. There's no twist. It's Boy de Portugal. It's fresher. It's more projective. To me, it lasts longer. Boy de Portugal from Creed is excellent. However, I have to say, without question now, being the second time I've reviewed both this and the original Boy de Portugal from Creed, this is your alternative designer inspiration fragrance. This came out in 1997 or maybe 98. So exactly 10 to 11 years later, they came out with this. And this is the revamp on it with better performance. It's absolutely insane how close Lalique Pour Homme is to Boy de Portugal. And I'm happy about that because that is one of the only classic Fougere fragrances that is timeless. Normally, you want to look for a modern Fougere, you know, something like Dracar Intense. There's a lot of other Fougeres, but that's one that immediately comes to my mind. But you want like a modern flair to the old classic Fougere DNA. But that one's a classic Fougere that is just insanely timeless because it's super complex. But yeah, Boy de Portugal has a clone as well. And thankfully, its clone is a designer. It's not even a clone house. Yeah, definitely get Lalique Pour Homme. I will say this. So I have 2 bottles that look the same here. So I have Lalique Pour Homme. It has the lion head on the front. And I have Lalique Icus, which has the horse head on the front. This is vetiver and amber and citrus. It's amazing. Absolutely. If you like anything like Elysium from, not Parfums de Marly, No, it might be PDM. You guys know what Elysium comes from. If you like Elysium in that vibe at all, this is that, but a lot warmer. Ecus is awesome. Now, however, this is not Boy de Portugal. If you want Boy de Portugal, you get this. There is a size with the lion head that's this size that they actually call Lalique pour Homme lion. They actually put lion in the name. Roja. Thank you, Greenlee. But don't get that. Get the 100 ml that doesn't say lion on it, even though it has a lion head. This is what this looks like in the 100 ml version, and it will just be called Lalique pour Homme. And that's the one that you want to get if you're looking for the Boy de Portugal DNA to a T. I believe the smaller bottle that is labeled Lion is a slight nuance. This is the better fragrance. Ecus is equally an amazing fragrance. You can see the dent I've cracked in it for 2024. I've used the heck out of this fragrance. This is one of the most slept on Lalique fragrances. To be honest, both of them are. Lalique as an entire house is insanely slept on. Ecus is good. Pour Homme Lion is good. Lalique White is good. Lalique White and Black is good. Lalique Encre Noir Sport is good. A l'Extrême is good. I just picked up Lalique's Insumi or Insume. That's on its way, which is an incredible fougere modern. I also picked up Lalique Nomad Noir or something like that. They're all good. They're absolutely all good. We need to put someone in timeout. Thank you. If you're clearly not from this channel, if you come in here talking about I'm not responding to chat. Chat goes crazy. I answer things thoroughly. I'm not looking to serve you, and as soon as you type an answer, here's the answer. I go through everything one at a time, and I answer it as thoroughly as I can because everybody deserves a good, thorough response. And if that means being late on the chat, we're going to be late on the chat for a while. And this is not the channel you come in for 1 minute and dip out of. This is, we're giving people good, solid info. We're not just trying to do clickbait in here. So if you don't have patience, this isn't the right stream. Okay. Lalique pour Homme with Lion big bottle. Yes, yes. Absolutely phenomenal fragrance. I wore it about 3 times this week. I wore Boy de Portugal yesterday in Neiman Marcus, and it is so crazy how good of a of the day Bentley Black Edition. We have that right here. Bentley Black Edition is excellent. If you want a louder Bentley Black Edition, you can absolutely, in a fresher Bentley Black Edition, definitely do Mercedes-Benz Intense. It's almost exactly like this, just a little bit louder and a little bit more Fougere-esque. But I've always said that Bentley Black Edition is what Mercedes-Benz Intense should have been, but that's not really dissing Mercedes-Benz Intense. It's just they're close cousins of each other. This feels a little bit more unique, but Bentley for Men Intense is insane. As soon as you put Bentley for Men Intense on, you're just going to be like, wow. You know, it almost has a Dolce & Gabbana K feel without the fig. But same DNA structure as this, little less orangey, little more citrusy, but it checks all the bells and whistles. And the great thing about Mercedes-Benz Intense is you put 4 sprays of that on and it's gonna last you the entire day. I'm not sure if you're used to the same experience that I've had, is that 90% of all Bentley fragrances smell amazing, but 90% of Bentley fragrances have very moderate performance. You know, we're talking 4 to 6 hours at best. Up here, I have Bentley Black Edition. I have Bentley Absolute. I have Bentley for Men Regular. And then in samples, down on the second level, I have Bentley Azure, Bentley Momentum Unlimited, Bentley for Men Intense, and everything else. So at this point, there's only about 3 fragrances from Bentley that I haven't reviewed. and I have smelled them before. So I've almost smelled the entire line from Bentley, and I'm pretty confident with my recommendations there. So definitely check out that Bentley for Men Intense, and you will get Black Edition with a slight twist with much better performance. I have both though, because I like them both for different reasons. Issey Miyake, what are your thoughts? It's popular. Okay. There are a lot of great Issey Miyake fragrances. There's none that stand out to me as ones I would recommend currently on the channel because I kind of want to go through the entire line. Issey Miyake was another line of fragrance that was on display yesterday at Neiman's. We went through a ton of bottles of that. And I just didn't get to spend the time I wanted with it to be able to make my recommendations. So I don't have much to say about Issey Miyake right now. Risasi Hawass review. For those of you who don't know, Risasi Hawass, where is my dang Risasi Hawass? Here we go. Risasi Hawass, in a nutshell, guys, is a slightly less interesting version of Nautica Voyage. Nautica Voyage is a little more projective and loud, a little more apple-y. But it's a super high utility fragrance. Everyday, blind grab, dumb reach. This is a starter fragrance. If you own more than 5 bottles of fragrance, do not pick Nautica Voyage up and do not pick up Risasi Hawass. If you have 5 or less bottles, pick up either one of these and you'll be happy. This one leans a little bit more Invictus Aqua, the tiniest bit of bubblegum, very big utility, everyday reach, blind grab, any season, any reason. Another one that's in the wheelhouse of Invictus Aqua and these fragrances as well, but without the apple, is going to be Banana Republic Slate Arctic. However, this one's a lot harder to find because it's discontinued. So the only way... It's actually really nice. The only way you're going to find this is in a TJ Maxx. But all 3 of these fragrances are virtually doing the exact same thing and they're only 1 note away from each other. This one is more Arctic, cold, airy, Invictus Aqua type DNA. This one is Invictus Aqua almost to a T, a little more utility to it though. This one is a little more green apple centric, a little more classy, and all of these are $20 fragrances that you can get for 100 ml. All right, guys, and I will let you guys know there are moderators in here, guys, so don't be idiots. Don't try to be a cool guy. That stuff will get shut off easily. That digital broom will come out very quickly. This is my first Bentley fragrance, but I really enjoyed it. I get about 4 to 6 hours as well. Yeah, it's a great fragrance. Surprisingly, man, if you're into that, skip Bentley for Men Intense and go straight to Bentley for Men OG. A lot of people's gripe with Bentley for Men Intense is that it's too boozy, it's too loud, it's overly sugary. This one is slightly dialed back, substantially dialed back, but exact same DNA. You're still going to get 10 plus hours of performance, but it's not going to be as sugary and not as boozy. I think they should have stopped right here and not went to Bentley for Men Intense. $20 100 ml fragrance. This is another addition to your fragrance collection that I would dub the name Modern Fougere. Very nice. But yeah, Bentley Momentum Unlimited is another great one. Bentley Azure. Silver Lake is the only Bentley fragrance you should never buy. But yeah, they're all going to get about 4 to 6 hours, except for Bentley for Men OG and Bentley for Men Intense get 10 plus hours due to that booze note. But yeah, you can't go wrong with Bentley. Bentley's one of the best car designer fragrance houses out there. What should I use for school every day? Lattafa Sacrat if you want Acqua di Gio Profumo. Versace Eros EDT if you want slightly seductive, sweet, everyday utility, fresh fragrance. And I think I already told you that earlier, Connor. I panic bought Dior Homme Parfum 2023 batch. I didn't find iris or lipsticky vibe. Will it mature if I macerate? Um, you know, that's a good question. I think over time it does macerate, but the thing you got to understand is if you're looking for super iris lipsticky vibe, then Dior Homme Parfum is not really the fragrance you want. You want Dior Homme Intense. Dior Homme Intense is a lot more creamy, powdery iris lipstick vibe, and that's the lipstick Dior fragrance that everybody talks about. In fact, not a lot of people talk about Dior Homme Parfum. Um, even though it's a really good fragrance. But if you were wanting more out of your Dior Homme Parfum, then I would actually say what you should have bought was Gary's Den from FOMO. $20 to $25, 100 ml. This is not only the best Dior Homme Parfum clone, but it actually, to me, beats Dior Homme Parfum unless you have a 2012 version. The 2020 version, to me, this is better, and the iris is true to form. Again, this isn't as creamy and dense as Dior Homme Intense. If you want a Dior Homme Intense, the most lipsticky iris fragrance, there's gonna be a few options. Quite a few options, actually. One of them is gonna be Cayenne Classic. That's gonna get you that creamy, powdery iris. The main thing you need to know about the difference between Dior Homme Intense and Dior Homme Parfum is Dior Homme Intense is creamy, dense, lipsticky iris. Dior Homme Parfum is supposed to be a dusted, more fresher take on iris. So you're not gonna smell it as pronounced. It's gonna have some other florals mixed in there to kind of freshen it up, but that's the difference between the two. But if you're looking for DHI, Cayenne Classic is really good. $20 100 ml fragrance. It's spot on, 10 out of 10. Camaro, quiet. Camaro Homme Intense is another great DHI clone. There's even clones as cheap as $13 that match Dior Homme Intense. And I never thought I would say that in 100 years. But this fragrance right here from Privé at TJ Maxx, Illusion Intense, is also another like 9 out of 10 clone that you can get for $13, 100 ml of Dior Homme Intense. But the only Dior Homme Parfum DHP clone that I ever recommend, and I will never recommend anything outside of it because this is just one of the best clones ever made, is Gary's Den, without question. For $20 to get a Dior Homme Parfum clone, it's absolutely stellar. And speaking of Dior Homme Parfum, guys, 2 days ago, I was able to smell the brand new 2025 Dior Homme Parfum. And I gotta say that it's absolute hot trash. Gary's Den is absolutely better than that. They've completely diluted it down. It's lost its weight. It's lost its dimension. It's still sweet. It still has iris. It still has complexity, but it does not even hold a candle to the previous 2023 and 2020 and 2013 renditions of Dior Homme Parfum, which is an insane letdown. For those of you who know, the perfumer Maison Francis Kirkjohn is actually the one responsible for that fragrance. And there just must be some political stuff going on because Dior Homme Parfum is only good if you've never smelled Dior Homme Parfum or Dior Homme Intense. Then if you were just coming into it, you'd like it just because they're stealing from a super popular DNA, but it's just not, it's not worth the money. You should buy older versions or just go to DHI. With that being said, the new 2025 Dior Homme Intense fragrance is coming out this year as well. So I hope that that fragrance is better and they don't drop the ball there. But we all know that the 2013 and 2020 Dior Homme Intense are very hard fragrances to beat. So I don't really know what I'm looking for when they come out with this new DHI 2025 version, but I hope it wasn't as big of a letdown as the Dior Homme Parfum. Please suggest some tobacco and leather good compositions under budgets. To be honest, tobacco leather combos are hard to come by. So I'm going to recommend a pure tobacco leather fragrance. It's designer, and that's going to be Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir. That's going to be your best tobacco leather honey that you can find in the designer market, and you can get that pretty affordably. If you want something else close, but it's gonna lack the honey. It's gonna be more leather and incense, which if you're Middle Eastern or from the UAE or anything from Europe, you'll probably really enjoy this due to the incense note. But Bentley for Men Absolute for $20 is an incredible steal. This is really good. It doesn't have the honey, but it's the tiniest bit sweet, super smoky, woody, incensey tobacco vibe. Even though you might not see the tobacco note in Fragrantica, it has a brush of tobacco in it, and it's a stellar buy as well. Now, if you want to go more Nag Champa incensey vanilla, you can go Mahir Legacy Black. But I always tell folks, you know, this is a Middle Eastern fragrance to the core. Nag Champa incensey vanilla, it's heavy. So if you want more of a clean, woody take on an incense take, definitely go with the, oh, actually, you know what? I have another fragrance. If you want something really close to Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir, it's exactly that. Incense, honey, tobacco. I think it even has a touch of soft lavender in there. This is a little bit hard to find, but if you can find it, this is better than all of the fragrances I recommended to you. This is Jesus de Pozo is the maker, and this is called Halloween Man Shot. I shockingly got 120 ml for $20 on Facebook groups. If you can get your nose on this, this is the best one out of everything I just mentioned. It's hard to find online, it really is. But if you can find it, this is gold. You know, if you're looking for that tobacco, leather, honey, it's just very seductive, very, very good. I hope that was helpful for you. Okay, which Dior Homme? Oh, you're asking somebody else something. But it doesn't smell like it does in the 90s. Well, what fragrance smells like it does in the 90s outside of Bois de Portugal? And they never changed their formulation, so that makes sense. What should I use for school every day? Connor, we've already gone over this. Issey Miyake Pour Homme. Thoughts on Swiss Arabian Shanghof Oud? It's okay. I don't have a ton of commentary on that fragrance, SoCal. I've only smelled it once. It didn't blow me away, but it seemed like a average fragrance, 7 or 8 out of 10. It just didn't have a lot of signature to me. Okay, let's keep going. The new Versace Hawass has that geranium, a little bit different than the previous one. Are you referring to Hawass, the black version? Thoughts on Dior Fahrenheit? I don't want to be misquoted on this, but Dior Homme EDT versus Dior Homme Parfum. I think the Parfum is better. I'm not sure. One of those fragrances smells like pure gasoline and tires. I think Greenlee can help me out with this one. One of them you should stay away from and never touch, and the other one is smooth and smoky and really nice. I think it's the Parfum version, so I'd recommend going with that. Don't even touch the EDT with a 10-foot pole. They're not even the same fragrance. The EDT and the Parfum are night and day different from one another. Michael Germain, thoughts? I'm not familiar with that bull. I'm sorry. What is the best Versace fragrance for the gym in the summertime? Probably just standard Hawass. Best gym and summer fragrance for cheap? I'm going to be honest. The thing about the gym, guys, is the thing that people aren't thinking about is not which fragrance smells good in the gym, but which fragrance can actually maintain its DNA when you're sweating and perspirating and other people are sweating around you and adding that funk to the air. What fragrance can actually cut through and still smell super fresh in the presence of sweating and heat and lack of, moisture and all that stuff? So to me, I'm going to just pick the most cleanest, linen-y, fresh, neutral, unisex fragrance possible so that it really cuts through. I don't care what signature fragrance you have, it's going to smell way worse in the gym. So Don't try to wear a super signature fragrance in the gym because it's just going to get diluted down and smell musty. And it's going to be even worse. You want something that almost isn't even a fragrance to be able to cut through the fragrance of funk. So there's a couple of ones that I might recommend. The first one is Banana Republic's 90 Pure White. Okay, I'm not going to explain why. You're just going to have to trust me. These are all variations of linen, soapy, clean, slight touch of sweet floral. So 90 Pure White from Banana Republic. Calvin Klein Defy. Calvin Klein 1, so CK1. Coach Open Road. And Mont Blanc Starwalker. Those are the only fragrances I feel in the affordable category that will cut through funk and BO and remain super clean and fresh. And I think in the gym, that's what you want. You want everybody being musty around you, but you just smell like you just got out of the shower, even though you're working out and you're sweating. People will be like, gosh, why does that guy just smell so freaking fresh? Is he just showering while he's working out? That's the feel I want. You don't want to smell overly sweet. You don't want to smell overly citric because citric and BO smells terrible. You don't want to smell herbal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just want clean, soapy, fresh linen, tiniest touch of soft floral just to kind of taint the air a little bit. That's what I'm calling. Best Roja fragrance politically is Elysium. But there are tons of Roja fragrances that are great. Apex, Elysium. Man, I wish I had my phone on me, but I'm holding it in front of me, so I haven't touched Roja in a while. But Elysium tends to be the most talked about, period. Been contemplating Armaf Urban Men Elixir to replace my Armaf Le Portrait as a daily wear. What do you think? Zachariah, Armaf's Urban Man is just okay. The opening smells like an 8 out of 10. The dry down is a 7 out of 10. If you're looking for a daily wear, there's just so many better fragrances that are that cost. Even from the Club de Nuit line, you know, Sillage, Iconic. Those are, you know, nice, fresh, everyday wears. You know, you could go outside of that line for sure. You could go Armaf. You could go, I mean, you could go Très Nuit. You could go, uh, Supremacy in Heaven. There's just a lot of better options to me than Urban Man. There's a reason why Urban Man isn't talked about much on YouTube. Like, there's a lot of reviews of it, but no one's really saying like, hey, go out and buy Urban Man. I walk through my Burlington retail store every day, and Urban Man has been sitting on that shelf unbought for so long. It's crazy. Months, maybe even a year now. I got Dior Poison Old Composition EDP for Vintage Collection. That green bottle, that's really Poison. Okay. What is the difference between Cayenne Classic and Gary's Den? Very simple, Solomon. Gary's Den is cloning Dior Homme Parfum, and Cayenne Classic is cloning Dior Homme Intense. Two completely different takes on Iris. Dior Homme Parfum is dusty, fresh iris with a little bit more floral mix in it, so it's fresher. Dior Homme Intense is almost entirely a lipstick, seductive, creamy, powdery iris and lavender mix. So Cayenne Classic is cloning Dior Homme Intense. Gary's Den is cloning Dior Homme Parfum. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, because there's so many times people say, oh, I bought Gary's Den, or I bought, you know, something else, and it doesn't smell like Dior Homme Intense. And it's like, it's not supposed to. Or some people buy Cayenne Classic or whatever, and they're like, oh, it doesn't smell like Dior Homme Parfum. It's not supposed to. Yeah, absolutely, Chase. I'll put you in timeout. Have a good day. It's the first time somebody asked for it, but I mean, I'll grant it. Greenlee, thank you so much for being on top of the fragrance recommendations. For those of you who don't know, Greenlee is taking everything I'm saying and transcribing it so that you guys can actually write these fragrances down. And he's on his way to becoming the second mod for the channel. What's the best clone / cheap gym summertime fragrance? Already went over that. Thank you guys for recommending him fragrances as well. Hey, I have bought a Lattafa Camera. Is that good? Well, if you bought it, then it's good, Tasia. I'm not going to tell you otherwise. But I will tell you this. Lattafa Camera is better. Or Camera Kawa is better. But Kawa is the highest sold. One of the highest sold fragrances in the Lattafa brand. And it's very good. It's not a clone of Angel Share like people say it is. It's not even 60 or 70% close to Angel Share. Your Angel Share clone is this guy right here. Amir Paris Corner Fire Your Desire. That is your perfect one of one Angel Share clone. But Camera as a fragrance by itself, really, 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 really good. But I think it's a unisex fragrance that leans feminine. Camera Kawa is a unisex fragrance that is perfectly unisex. The coffee note, the latte, caramel latte vibe duffs off some of the sweetness, makes you feel more masculine. Diorum Intense versus Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé. Yikes. Trying to hurt my brain, man. You can't judge those two. You can't compare them. I'm declaring that right now. You cannot compare Diorum Intense to Gentleman Reserve Privé. You can't. It's a sin. It's like saying Kobe or Jordan. You know? It's like saying LeBron or Durant. Like you just can't. You can't. Don't do it, guys. They're both insane iris date night killers. You can't lose going Reserve Privé. You can't lose going Diorum Intense. Really, it just comes down to preference. If you're one of these people that hear people talk about iris and all this, and when you tried iris, you're not the biggest fan of that note, it doesn't excite you, it's not love at first sniff, then you go Reserve Privé. Because iris is not it is a star note, but not to the same degree as Diorum Intense. They've mixed a lot more spices and kind of that Spice Bomb extreme feel to that DNA. And it's got a lot more going on that's not just iris stealing the show. Diorum Intense is iris, 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 seduction, pure. But they're both seductive killers. You will get compliments. You will turn heads. Your girl that you're interested in will ask you, why haven't you asked me out yet? Or when are we going to go on our next date? You know what I'm saying? Or the girl who's walking by you is going to go, oh my gosh, can I get that for my boyfriend? Can I get that for my husband? What are you wearing? They are all showstoppers. You cannot judge those two together. There's no verses when it comes. You're basically saying, what's better, a classic or a classic? What is a good clone for Valentino Uomo born in Roma? Where are you? Right here. This you can get at TJ Maxx for $13 to $16. It is called Valencia Uomo Intense. Now, granted, it is cloning Valentino Uomo Intense. However, the way that they've cloned it feels a little bit sweeter, so that makes me feel like it is a super valid call to say that this is just as much a Born in Roma clone as it is an Uomo Intense clone, because it's just got a really nice dose of sweetness and iris. Valencia Uomo Intense. I got it at TJ Maxx for, I want to say, $13. 100 ml. This is a beast. What are we talking about? It's close enough. It's close enough, guys. There are some other fragrances that smell closer to Born in Roma, but I've always felt that Valentino Uomo Intense is way more versatile than Born in Roma. Born in Roma goes bubblegummy. So it kind of has boy toy vibes. Even though I really like it, I think Valentino Uomo Intense is just way more versatile and it still has that seduction. So to me, go with the clone of Uomo Intense because you're still going to get that Born in Roma feel, but then you're not going to feel like a boy toy. It's still going to have a masculinity to it that can transition. You can go anything from upscale casual to semi-formal, date night, night vibes. You're going to be a killer. And that fragrance is only like 13 bucks. Hey, Scent Bubble, wonder if we could do a mashup of exclusive Tabak and Afro Leather. Dude, I would do that, but I don't have exclusive Tabak in my collection right now. Otherwise, I would. But I'm going to screenshot. I screenshotted that, and I will have exclusive Tabak in here in a week, and we will put that with Afro Leather and see how that combo goes. I'm excited to see if that combo works. Anyone can type the name here for the leather one. The last perfume he mentioned, that would be appreciated. I'm sure Greenlee's on top of it. Most complimented cheapie. Everything. Everything. And the reason I say everything is because there are well over 50 bottles behind me that are clones that get compliments all the time. Do you know of an Aspen clone? Sorry, Luis Jimenez, I do not. I apologize. Top 3 French Avenue. Ooh. Royal Blend Nero is nice, but here's the thing, man. So first off, I don't have a top 3 from French Avenue. We'll see with the new aromatics clones, the 2 that came out, if that changes my mind. But Royal Blend Nero, I just did a review of that last week. And to be quite honest, man, like sometimes I feel like we got to just be real with ourselves. Sometimes we fall in love with the fact that we bought a fragrance that we like, but like I've seen some people in my comment section say literally like this clone is better than that clone. And I'm like, oh yeah, well, where do you wear it? And then they go ghost. A lot of people claim that certain clones are the best clones because they really love them and they really haven't tried any of the other ones. It's like people when they say Club de Nuit Intense Man is the best Aventus clone. Have you tried L'Aventure? Have you tried Not Only Intense Man? Have you tried Pre-Show? Have you tried Off Non-Supremacy Collector's Edition? No. Or sometimes people will do this. They've tried 2 clones. Maybe he tried some Al Harmain. Maybe he tried some Club de Nuit. And now all of a sudden he's the lord of fragrance when it comes to Aventus clones. Oh, no, I've tried everything. No, you haven't. I probably have the most well-rounded nose second to all the other big YouTuber guys. I've smelled everything. Club de Nuit EDT, Club de Nuit EDP, Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition Parfum, Al Harmain L'Aventure, Off Non-Supremacy Not Only Intense, Nitro... what is it, Nitro Black? There's a Nitro fragrance that smells like Aventus. I've smelled Pre-Show. I've smelled Off Non-Supremacy Collector's Edition. I've tried all of these fragrances, guys. Don't be talking about what's the best Aventus clone if you don't really know. But anyways, as far as Royal Blend Nero, it's this fragrance, guys. Royal Blend Nero is Amir Paris Corner Fire Your Desire. The only difference is Nero is sweeter. And I don't, this is like 7 out of 10 sweet. I mean, it's cloning Angel Share. You guys see the dent. And I actually don't want this fragrance sweeter. This is drenched in cognac, which is what I think has to be in the fragrance for it to feel masculine. That's the problem with Angel Share. It smells like it's best on a woman. The only thing that cuts through the praline, cuts through the vanilla, cuts through the cinnamon is the cognac, the alcohol. If the alcohol's not there, this is a women's scent. But the cognac gives it that masculinity so that when all that sweetness is there, you get that alcoholic cognac dark liquor bite that puts some chest hair on the fragrance so that it's truly perfectly unisex. A lot of the clones of Angel Share don't do that. They don't emphasize the cognac And so it's just an overly sweet fragrance. But anyways, with that being said, French Avenue's Nero fragrance, Royal Blend, is very good. And it's only very good because it's copying this one. It's just ramped up on sweetness. I don't think it needs to be ramped up any more on sweetness, but they're not that far apart. This is only maybe like 5% different than Nero in that it's a little bit less sweet and it's a little bit more cognac alcohol-y. But to that being said, that's a great French Avenue fragrance that's worth the money. But I mean, Amir Fire Your Desire is $20. I mean, you just can't beat that. Fahrenheit EDT is a screechy opening, but the parfum is better, obviously. Yes. Yes. So if you want to get into that peppery, smoky, rough edge man killer, or not man killer, like macho man in a suit and tux, go with Fahrenheit Parfum. The EDT smells like gasoline, rubber, and kerosene, like a cocktail. Urban Man Elixir versus Le Parfait. I don't want to compare those two, Zachariah. I'm sorry. You're splitting hairs. Good point. I'm a big fan of anything Profumo Fresh. What are the notes in perfumes? I don't know. What are the universal step-by-step rules to layering, waiting period, which one to spray first, etc.? There are none, Lewis. There are none. You pick which fragrance you want to be dominant and you spray that 2-to-1 versus the other fragrance. Or if you want an equal amount of both, you spray one of each, 1-to-1 ratio. Definitely contrast is a good rule of thumb. Like, I'll give you a great example. I hate Banana Republic's Dark Cherry and Amber. It's too sweet. It smells like a body spray. So to change it, I want to go completely left field, somewhere completely out of fruits and citrus. I want to go herbal or smoky or dry, woody to contrast all of that fruit. So then that's what led to me doing Bentley Absolute or Mahir Legacy Black, smoky incense to try and cut through that fragrance. And that contrast is what leads to like a nice layering. But sometimes it can be an accent. Like for instance, if I had 90 Pure White from Banana Republic, clean linen, I could really go any direction with it. I could go linen with a touch of sweet fruit. I could go linen with a touch of citrus. I can go lemon or linen with a touch of floral. Some note compositions are so basic that you could really go any direction with it. But if it's an already fragrance that's very dominantly sweet or dominantly citric or dominantly herbal or dominantly smoky, then you kind of want to layer that with a fragrance that's more simple so that you don't have too many competing notes. You normally want to mix complex fragrance with simple fragrance. Hopefully that's helpful. Have you tried Thomas Kaw's Mala No. 4 Neon? I have not. Collection is looking pretty boss there. Scent Bubble props. Thank you, James. It's funny because a lot of people look at this and they think this is a lot of fragrances, right? But the reality is this is like only half my collection. It's just a good display because when I show it, people come in here and they know I have a lot of fragrances. This is kind of like clickbait, really, because people only watch fragrance reviews if they know you have a lot of fragrances. But I'm not going to put like shelves and shelves of fragrance. I'm not a guy who likes people to come over and see like the holy grail of fragrance layouts. I have a lot of stuff in boxes. My natural body aroma is fresh. Good to know. It's intoxicating, I'm told. Hugo Boss Reverse is also great for the gym. Okay, good to know, random. Yo, what's up from work? What up, Chris? What's poppin', Siaj? Tarathi Blues, good too. Great Bulgari Tigar. And actually, when I went to Neiman Marcus yesterday, Bulgari had their entire line out as well. I got to smell 10 different Bulgari fragrances. You wanna know what's crazy? My favorite Bulgari fragrance. You ready for this? Out of smelling the entire line, my favorite fragrance from Bulgari, without question, there's no competition, is Bulgari Man in Black. Gold, black bottle, traditional old school. That is just the classiest man you could ever be. Modern, fresh, extremely sophisticated. I love that over Tigar, and I love that over a lot of the Bulgari takes. For some reason, I kept smelling that. I don't have Mary Kay fragrances. What about Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male? Le Male's okay. I prefer Le Male Elixir over any JPG. I just think either they're great fragrances that lack performance or great performance, but they're not the best one in the line. They're all nice though. I mean, you can't really lose with a Jean Paul Gaultier fragrance, but they're super sweet. So if you don't like super duper sweet, you're not gonna like them. But if I had to pick one to live with on an island, it would be Le Male Elixir. Paradise Garden is cool too. But at the filming of this live, there are legitimate clones for everything. Le Beau, Le Male, Ultramale, Le Male Elixir, Paradise Garden. There are extremely valid clones for all of those. Saludos! Salud! South Texas, 40 degrees, Checkmate King. Good PDM Scandal Absolute clone. I would agree. Thoughts on Maison Alhambra exclusive to back? I need to get it. Someone was just mentioning to me that I need to mix that with our latest come-in of Memo Paris's African Leather. So we will be ordering that soon, SoCal. How do you feel about YSL? He said you, but I'm assuming YSLY EDP. YSLY EDP is good, but if you don't really want to afford it, just go with Lattafa's Fakar Black. Very, very close. 90% close to YSLY EDP and incredible performance. I would never buy YSLY because it's a little out of my DNA. I don't love it. When I smell it in the air, it smells amazing, but it doesn't do well on my skin for some reason. There's just better fragrances. But Fakar Black, I've owned it for a while before I gave it away. But Fakar Black is an insanely close rendition of YSLY. And the YSLY DNA outside of my own preference is very good. Le Male or Elixir? Elixir. Great answer, bro. Totally agree. YSLY EDP, how do you feel? Morbell, don't do that. Jordan clones versus Ronaldo clones. Neither. Neither. YSLY EDP every for school too. Yeah, I mean, I guess. YSLY is strong though. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like if I was in high school still or I was in college, I wouldn't be rocking fragrances like Spice Bomb, Noir, Tom Ford, Jean Paul Gaultier, YSLY. Like, I wouldn't be that loud. Like, when you wear those fragrances and you're sitting at a desk, everybody's smelling you. Like, they're not nuclear, but they're loud, guys. I don't know what kind of attention y'all are trying to draw to yourself, but like when I was in school, I was not trying to smell signature. I was trying to smell clean, sophisticated, with a little allure, a little bit of who the heck is that? What's he wearing? Just, man, that guy just consistently just smells expensive, fresh, clean. I'm not trying to go to school like a bachelor and get catcalled by 15 women. Like, you piss a lot of people off like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the guys hate you because they're like, yo, you stink. They're not going to think you smell good. Like, the women are going to be just so distracted that it might be seductive for half a second, but then they're just annoyed because you're just so loud. Like, I go for fresh, man. Like, the sweetest I would ever go in a school setting is maybe Eros. Maybe. And that's EDT. But I might actually go Parfum because it's even dumbed down more. But that's the sweetest I would ever go in class. Like, if I'm in class, I'm going Profumo, I'm going Star Walker, I'm going Vetiver Sensual. I might hit them with Bright Leather. I'm going Silver Mountain Water. I'm going Elysium. I'm going Ecus. Like just soft. Sophisticated, soft on the nose, tiny bit of sillage. I don't want projective monsters in school. You just look like an idiot. It's an inappropriate place. Star out and be loud when you're one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Or when you're in a particular environment where there's space, you can travel, you can move around. You're just sitting at a desk all day smelling like YSLY. Like, people are going to be like, bro, come on. They're going to get tired of your fragrance very quick. When you wear a signature fragrance every day, it no longer is signature. It's annoying. I hate Iris, but one fragrance I do love and respect is Amouage Reflection Man. Yeah, I was just at Neiman Marcus yesterday, and I smelled the entire Amouage collective from an Amouage representative. Amouage is cool, bro, for sure. I'm an iris fanatic, and yeah, I'm not an iris fanatic in the sense that I'm wearing it all the time, but like I gotta have iris in my life at least once or twice a week. You are really insightful. Just discovered your channel and subscribed. Thank you. Hey, I really appreciate that, man. We drop videos every single day. We go live. We have community feedback. We give away decants. You know, I'm about to launch my members community soon here, but I've been wanting to set up a members community where for being a member of this channel, you get free decants every month. But I'm trying to set it up in a way that I can do that sustainably. So I'm batch ordering a ton of fragrances right now so that people can actually, if you are a member of this channel, when it comes out, you will be able to see an updated Fragrantica listing of my entire collection, and you will be able to pick a decant every month of 5 ml to 10 ml that you can have in your collection. So when you see every fragrance talked about on the channel, you can have that in your collection and try it and interact with the community. You guys can trade. It'll be really cool. But I'm waiting until I have a large enough quantity to where it's not like you guys can only get free fragrances for a couple of months. Like I want you guys year round to be able to see anything reviewed on this channel and immediately have it the next week. Okay, DHI Woody Floral Musk. Okay. Morbell, you need a timeout, buddy. You need a timeout. I'm sorry. I love exclusive tobacco, but I'm going to say Charuto Miss Tobacco is my favorite tobacco frag. Yeah. You know, that Charuto Tobacco Vanille clone is supposed to be nice too. Your top 3 fragrances of all time. I don't have one. When you have this many fragrances, I have 3 times this amount of fragrances. You see all this and all this below? I have 3 times that amount of fragrances. I couldn't possibly have 3 favorites of all time. You will never see me do top 3 fragrances of all time in my YouTube. It's stupid. It's impossible. Cod Lodge Island. Chase, I haven't tried a lot of Cod Lodge. I've only tried Cod Lodge Red and Cod Lodge Shiaka Red and Blue. And I love the Shiaka Blue. It's Blue de Chanel with a twist of, I gotta remind myself real quick. It's almost like spice bomby. It's a slight spice bomby. It's mostly Blue de Chanel with a touch of either Dior Sauvage or spice bomminess, but it is bubblegummy a little bit, but it's more spicy, holiday sweet. It's just a different take on Blue de Chanel that I really appreciate. Shiaka Red is cool too. I think Shiaka Red is Interlude Man or Reflection Man. I forget. But yeah, Nitro Black. Do you have it? And does it smell like cognac as it claims? I don't have Nitro Black. Matter of fact, let me look something up real quick. Hey, Miles. Hey, buddy. I'm gonna get you lunch in just a second. I'm gonna be live for about 5 more minutes. Okay, buddy? All right, man. Did you already eat it? What was it? Nitro Black. Nitro Black clone of. All right, I'm going to make you lunch in just a second, buddy. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, dude. I was thinking Nitro Black was an Aventus clone. The thing is Nitro Black is a good fragrance. It's not the best Aventus. So that's really what it comes down to. Flip, I really appreciate the kind words, buddy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys seeing the value in the channel. I work really hard to make this channel valuable. Yeah. No, Nitro Black is not supposed to smell like cognac. Nitro Black is supposed to be Aventus. And I think if you want something truer to like Aventus clone or original Creed Aventus, you go with pre-show. And I think if you want something closer to Nishane Hasavat, you go collector's edition from Afnan. I think you just leave it at that. All the other ones, limited edition, CDM, you know, Harmane and all that, and not only intense, just stay away from it, including Nitro Black. What do you think about Versace Dylan Blue for a college student? It's great. You will not smell expensive. You will not smell insanely signature, but you will have one of the most freshest and versatile fragrances on campus. And you will always smell fresh with a tiny bit of signature. and very easy on the nose. So Dylan Blue fragrance. Um, it just is, you know. It's similarly on par with like Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. You know, they're just great utility fragrances. But after you have that fragrance, you're gonna need your work and play fragrance. So, or sorry, your casual and your seductive. Oh, that was weird. Is this live? Okay, there we go. Sorry, my phone was tripping. I might miss a lot of questions in the chat, guys, because my stream was going a little bit bonkers for a second. So if I miss any of your questions when I sign off, please copy paste your question in the comments section. I'll answer it within the hour for sure. But yeah, Dylan Blue, Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, stuff like that's going to be a utility fragrance. Then you kind of want more of your seductive fragrance, like the fragrance you might take on a date night or that you might go out in. You know, these are like your Versace Eros. This is like your Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Male Elixir. This is like your Halloween Man Shot. This is like your, I mean, there's so many choices, guys. I look at my collection and I'm like, man, there's just so many choices. But I would definitely go with a fragrance that's more on the sweet, seductive side. Eros will be an insane amount of utility, and you can also offset your Dylan Blue with Versace Eros because it's still just as fresh as Dylan Blue, but it's smoother with a touch of sweetness. So you can kind of play between ultra fresh blue fragrance and kind of like sweet blue fragrance, and you can transition the Versace Eros into date night and just be a head turner. So I think that might be the next fragrance that you upgrade to. If you were to move out of the country, or you could, how could you take all your fragrances? I would bubble wrap the piss out of them and throw them in a box. Fahrenheit is good at project and projects great. Yes, it does. But make sure you get Fahrenheit Parfum and not EDT. Favorite fragrance of all time? Don't have one. Can you explain how Dior Sauvage smells like? Fresh, spicy, peppery, hyper masculine, edgy, sweet, vanillic. You know, to be honest, guys, you don't need Dior Sauvage. Just get Lattafa's Assad. Or get Armaf Hunter. And you guys will be straight. The hype around Dior Sauvage is not all that crazy, guys. Women are in love with Dior Sauvage, but only girls. Girls are in love with Sauvage, like 25 and under. You start getting 25 plus, every woman you know has smelled Dior Sauvage. And then now it's like you need something different. So I'm always recommending Assad because Assad is a little bit of a twist on it. Takes it somewhere else. But if you want true to form, I would get Armaf Hunter. I like old man cologne like Eau Sauvage or Artemis. Yeah, I mean, Eau Sauvage, if you like Eau Sauvage, your new modern fragrance that has a fougerish element but is more modern is going to be Vetiver Sensual. This is going to kill all of your old green, earthy fragrance or slash fougere fragrances. And it's going to give you a new take on modern fougere that's going to absolutely blow Eau Sauvage away. Eau Sauvage is great. It's very green. It's very loud. But there's just better stuff today. I will always go with Eau Sauvage, though. I like it. I have a bottle of it. But it's just, it's so old feeling. You know, it's like Encre Noir Sport, you know. Eau Sauvage is a little bit more greener. This is a little bit more bitter. I actually even like Encre Noir Sport better than Eau Sauvage for that type of DNA. Oh, whoa. I should have played baseball with that catch. Okay. I even think Encre Noir Sport is better than Eau Sauvage. Eau Sauvage is greener, but Encre Noir Sport just feels more masculine, more dark. But they're both really good. I wouldn't complain about either. Love Cool Water Lancaster. Tom Ford is unique tobacco and vanilla. Yeah, you know, to be honest, I smelled the entire line from Tom Ford yesterday. Tobacco Vanille, like, I just don't get what the hype is around Tobacco Vanille, guys. just get freaking Charuto. I forget the full name of that fragrance, but just get the Charuto fragrance and call it a day, man. No one's going to be smelling like tobacco and vanilla all the time. It's like a bust out fragrance that you do very occasionally. If you wear a fragrance like that a couple times a week or just regularly, it's just, you become less signature. You know, that's like a very circumstantial take. What's the best 3 macho scents for a strong man, intimidating, smells super macho? Any thoughts? Well, it depends on what you mean by macho, because I think just because a fragrance is extremely loud and out there doesn't necessarily mean macho. Like, you could wear Oud Satin Mood from MFK. You could wear Grand Soir from MFK. Those are loud, beast mode, travel across the room fragrances, but they don't feel macho and edgy. This is an edgy macho fragrance. African Leather by Memo Paris. That's a macho fragrance. You walk across the room, you're going to feel like freaking Tarzan. What's another macho fragrance? I think macho even can come through with Nishane's Hasavat as well. It's a little less edgy, but it still feels like CEO. Mercedes-Benz Intense, oddly enough, has a CEO macho vibe to it, but it's a little soft around the edges. Tom Ford's Ombre Leather, another macho fragrance. Initio's Oud for Greatness, macho fragrance. You know, yeah, those are kind of what I'm seeing right now. I'll kind of stop there just to get through the chat. All right, guys, we got a couple minutes left, and then I'm heading out. Bulgari pour Homme, Dior Homme Parfum. Are you familiar with Scentologia? No, I'm not, honey. I'm sorry. How do you feel about Cayenne Classic? It's great. The great thing about Dior Homme clones, guys, Dior Homme Intense clones, is all of them are phenomenal. It's not like Aventus where there's tiers of how good the quality is. With Dior Homme Intense clones, from the $13 one up to the $60 one, they all smell almost the exact same. So Cayenne Classic, for instance, is just as good as Camaro Homme Intense. Is just as good as Privé's Illusion Intense. You know, they're all great. You just need to make sure you know the difference between Dior Homme Intense and Dior Homme Parfum, 2 different fragrances. Prada L'Homme and Prada L'Homme Intense. Prada L'Homme Intense, 100%. There's not a lot of explanation there other than the Prada L'Homme DNA needs to be ramped up. It's a good fragrance, but over time it gets light and light and light. Prada L'Homme Intense gives you that extra oomph so that you have longer projection and longevity, but it's essentially the same DNA. A fragrance like that, you really want it to carry, and Intense finally provided that. So I would absolutely recommend Prada L'Homme Intense any day of the week over Prada L'Homme, even though they smell almost identical. You want more performance. Okay. Man in Black from Bulgari. Thank you, Greenlee. Okay. Have you tried Tom Ford Ode de Ombre Leather? No, I didn't, man. I was in Neiman's yesterday and I was staring right at it. And I don't know why. You know, I tried so many fragrances in Neiman's, man. I brought home like 50 test strips. I probably tried 100 fragrances, all super niche. And it just it wasn't something I looked at and I'm like, I have to smell this. For whatever reason, I was overwhelmed by how many $1,000 plus fragrances I had in front of me. And, you know, Badissia was sitting there and I'm just like, yo, Tom Ford looks so weak compared to all this right now. And I can always smell Tom Ford. I can go into a Sephora right now and smell Tom Ford. So I just didn't. I did smell the new Dior Homme Parfum 2025. But I didn't come across the Ombre Leather. But I'm hearing that it's supposed to be one of the best from the leather type of facet from Tom Ford. So I will have my nose on that this week. I just for whatever reason, my brain lapsed and I was standing right at it with my son there with me at Neiman's and I didn't spray it. I don't know. I like Ombre Leather. You know what I'm saying? Like it's great. So for me, I didn't feel the need to even... I guess I just wasn't expecting much from it, but I'm hearing good things. Greenlee, thank you so much, dude. Have you tried any of the Initio clones? Absolutely. I was at Neiman's yesterday and smelled Paragon, and I haven't smelled Paragon in a while. So to smell Paragon, I was like, You know, Lattafa's Vintage Radio is an incredible clone of Initio's Paragon. What are the other Initio fragrances? Oud for Greatness. Great clone of that is Oud for Glory, Body All Oud. Atomic Rose. Great clone of that is Body All Oud Amethyst. There are a couple of other ones that have great clones. They're just not coming to my mind, but those were the three that stood out to me as like, yeah, these clones, you know, even Side Effect. Initio Side Effect, which I wasn't all that impressed with. I got to be honest with you. I smelled Initio Side Effect and I did not think it was all that. The Maison Alhambra Side Effect clone, I think it's called After Effect or something, is like 99% close. You know what I mean? So hopefully that's helpful for you. What's your opinion on Polo Blue EDP? It's great. It's a great, you know, Polo Blue is on the same caliber as Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, Dylan Blue. Highly a great utilitarian fragrance, clean, fresh. You know what I'm saying? Not too disruptive. Not very signature, but that's not really what you're looking for when you're trying to wear a fragrance every day. You're just trying to be fresh, clean, and inviting, and that fragrance does it. Dior Sauvage smells like Sweetheart's candy or Smarties candy. Okay, I mean, that's your take on it. That's fine. What's the best man, Sarah? I was considering Cedrat Boisé. Do not get Cedrat Boisé, please. I will pay you. Do not get Cedrat Boisé. Get a mere Cedrat Essence for $20. It is Cedrat Boisé, 90%, and then 10% a green honeydew melon touch on it. Look at the dent I've put in this bottle. This is not only going to give you exactly what Cedrat Boisé is, but it's going to remix it a little bit and make it more modern. Cedrat Boisé has been reported by many women of all shapes and sizes, all ages, that it smells like a 40-year-old man and up fragrance, like an older uncle fragrance. You don't want to smell older uncle. I've smelled Cedrat Boisé, and I agree. There's just something old school about it. You know, it's like Cartier Declaration. You know what I mean? They're good fragrances, but on 30 and under, 35 and under, they lack modernness. They lack fresh timelessness in the younger age groups. So get Cedrat Essence and you'll absolutely love it. Is Mont Blanc Legend worth it? No, it's not. What's the best Dior Homme for school? Is it the 2020? Yeah, or the 2012 or 2013 or whatever, but you don't really need it, Jackson. The best Dior Homme Intense, assuming you're not talking about Dior Homme Parfum, there's so many amazing clones of Dior Homme Intense, bro. So many. If you want to stay in designer, go the 2020 Dior Homme Intense. If you don't mind paying only 20, 30 bucks for a clone, you have a ton of great options. Camaro Homme Intense, Cayenne Classic. Those fragrances are 20, 30 bucks. And dude, you will be at minimum 90% in the door, if not dead ringer 1-to-1 clones. So, dude, I tell people this all the time. I have everything. I got Illusion Intense Privé for $13 from TJ Maxx. This is 90% Dior Homme Intense 2020. A little bit fresher. So when you can have a $13 fragrance get you 90% in the door to Dior Homme Intense, just pay the extra 20, 30 bucks, get Cayenne Classic or something, and you'll get that creamy iris and call it a day. I don't think Dior Homme Intense is smart to wear at school because you're going to piss a lot of people off. Seductive, sweet, lipsticky iris. Yeah, some girls are going to look at you, but you're going to be so loud. Your fragrance is going to reach across the room and slap everybody in sight. And that's not really imagine sitting at your desk and there's 50 desks around you. Every single one of them are going to smell that fragrance. So you might get away with that once, but you wear that 2-3 times in a week in class, you're going to piss everybody off. And now you've ruined a signature scent because now it's no longer signature. You've given it away. Dior Homme Parfum is going to be a better option because it's fresher. It's not going to travel the room as crazy, but it still has crazy sillage. But I would recommend getting Gary's Den by FOMO. This is an amazing Dior Homme Parfum. Dusted iris as opposed to creamy iris, but same Dior DNA, $20, 100 ml. That's the better school fragrance if you have to wear Dior Homme. Guys, I'm signing off. I'm just going to fly through these questions and then I'm going to hit y'all up later. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel. I drop every single day. I promise you I'll earn that subscribe. Thoughts on our Moth Odyssey Ohm. Our Moth Odyssey Ohm Black Edition is Tom Ford's Noir and Spice Bomb EDP in one bottle, but fresher. It's an amazing clone. 10 out of 10, not due to its closeness, 10 out of 10 as a fragrance. It's an 8 or 9 out of 10 close, slightly to Spice Bomb Extreme, slight closeness to Spice Bomb Tom Ford Noir. Very amazing clone. Stupid bottle, amazing clone for 20 bucks. Tonka Cola is good from Mancera. It's not my cup of tea as a fragrance I'd wear all the time, but I would absolutely bust it out. Paris Corner Amir has a Tonka Cola clone that is dead ringer spot on that I would highly recommend as well. John can get the 24-hour, so I'll see you in timeout. What do you think about Dolce & Gabbana K for a college student? It's good as a date night fragrance. It's not good as a school fragrance. Go Versace Eros or Dylan Blue or Mont Blanc Legend Spirit for your everyday wear. Dolce & Gabbana K is going to be date night only. You're going to be too loud in school with Dolce & Gabbana K. That fig is just going to be ringing off of you. Yo, what do you think about the Supremacy Not Only Intense? Is that good performing? Skip Off Non-Supremacy Not Only Intense and go straight to Off Non-Supremacy Collector's Edition or Lattafa Pre-Show. If you need something more affordable, the best I would say to go with is Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition Parfum. Dior Homme Cologne is good for warm weather. Yeah, I agree, but I still think Pre-Show beats it. And I actually think the original Dior Homme Sport beats Dior Homme Cologne. How about Dior Homme EDT? Dior Homme EDT. No. I think, because I don't want to have good projection and is it good for every day? I'm going to be honest, Jackson. Dior Homme Sport is better than Dior Homme Cologne. I'm just going to say it right now. It's soft, but still people are going to smell you, but it's so fresh. It has a little bit of signature to it. It's just a better formula, and it macerates over time, so it gets better with time. Dior Homme Sport is better than the cologne. You're gonna be able to wear it more often. The more you wear the cologne, the more it's gonna skin scent on you and duff out, and you're gonna struggle with performance with it, I think, in comparison to sport. Just give it a try, man. Go into Sephora and get in try them both on each arm and just wait in there for like 5 minutes and then see which one makes you feel the best. You won't lose wearing Dior Homme Cologne. I just think it's not that interesting the longer you wear it. What's your number one strong perfume? Don't have one. Acqua di Gio Profondo or Dior Homme EDT for school? Profondo. Profondo. But again, when I look at Profondo, I actually think, you know what's crazy, guys? To me, this is better than Profondo. It's slightly less versatile, but it's more interesting. And it's Acqua di Gio, so it's extremely versatile. But I wouldn't recommend this for school because I feel like it's a little bit too grown. But something like this, Lattafa Sucrat, look at the spelling, S-U-K-R-A-A-T. Lattafa Sucrat is Acqua di Gio Profumo, 10 out of 10. And this at school would go crazy. This would beat out, this beats out Profondo any day of the week, and it certainly beats out Dior Homme. And it's only $20 on Amazon right now. And the performance is amazing. It smells incredible. It's 1-to-1 close to Acqua di Gio Profumo, which is basically discontinued. Yeah, so, but if you're only choosing between Profondo and Dior Homme, I would go Profondo. You're going to get better performance. Thoughts on Supremacy Not Only Intense or other Supremacies you like? Collector's Edition, any day of the week, Qatar. Valentino Uomo Intense thoughts. My thoughts is this $13 clone from TJ Maxx, Valencia Uomo Intense, is Valentino Uomo Intense for $13, 1-to-1 clone. Insane performance. But as a fragrance alone, and I know some of you guys who are new here might be like, yo, why is he talking about all these clones? I have originals right below these of every single clone I have. So I'm not speaking on a clone that I don't have the original fragrance to or the original bottle to. And this is only 1/3 of my collection. So if you hear me yapping about clones, it's because I'm trying to save you money and because I've actually compared them side by side and I can legitimately talk about what's worth it. I'm not just saying get the clone because I have the clone. Like, I'm a fragrance reviewer. So I validate and invalidate clones all day long. But this is the way I look at it. If you're going to drop $150 on Dior Homme Intense, right? Probably even more if you're trying to get 2020 or 2013 or whatever. That's like 5 or 6 clone fragrances. And you can go on Fragrantica and see the rating of all of these. You can see how well they stack up to the original fragrance from thousands of reviewers, including professional perfumers. So you can't lose. Instead of getting 1 fragrance, you get 5. Like, yo, it just is what it is, man. Why? Hey, listen, don't trust me at all. Go look at all the 200K fragrance reviewers and type in the same fragrances I'm recommending, and y'all see what it is. And if you don't believe me, my channel has only been cracking for like 60 to 90 days, and we're already at like 1,300 subscribers, over 500,000 views on YouTube. We drop content every single day. I am a tiny channel, but we get it popping over here. My community is dope. We have a lot of good noses in here, and if somebody thinks I'm wrong, they're fact checking me in the comment section, and that almost never happens. But I'm just telling you, it does happen from time to time. But I will never recommend a fragrance I haven't put my nose to, and I never recommend clones that I haven't put my nose to the originals or have the originals sitting behind me. And we could do this all day long. Everybody knows when I go live, we play the re-recordings later. We snap out clips like these. This is not just some temporary thing I'm in and out of. Anybody who's on my channel knows I do this. If you go to my videos section or my shorts or my community page, I'm the only cat in the game with this small of a channel that's on as much as Gent Sense. It just is what it is. You guys, you trolls that are in here, you won't live long. You won't live long. Trust me. It's like we put people in timeout quick over here. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have no life to be in such a small YouTube channel popping off. It just doesn't make sense. Like, guys, I'm a grown man, dude. Did you try Lumiere Garcon? It's a clone of D&G Luminous Nights. I haven't, man. I gotta be honest with you. And I don't, like I said, I don't talk about fragrances that I don't own. So, unfortunately, that is what it is. Everyday Office, affordable, in light, strong. Affordable and light. If you want to go plain, Vivek, I would say something like Mont Blanc Starwalker, Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, Dylan Blue, Ferragamo's Bright Leather. Those are going to be like your nice, clean scents. You know, even if you want to go even cheaper, you can go down to like Banana Republic 90 Pure White or like a Vintage Green 78. Those are going to be like your clean, inoffensive, light fragrances. Even something like Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Extreme. Don't get the regular, get the Extreme. Is going to be nice, easy wears for the office. Soapy, clean. If you want to go more expensive, you can go something like Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver, either the Parfum or the EDT. That'll rock really nice for you as well if you want more of like an expensive, soft executive feel in the office. But it really just comes down to where you work. I bought limited edition. I'm looking at Supremacy Incense for an Interlude clone. I really like Interlude. Interlude Man from Amouage. Put that question in the comment section on the community page, and I'll go in there and give you the recommendation. I have a clone in mind, but when you're in here talking to people for an hour and a half, sometimes you forget fragrances. Yeah, to be honest, Omer, I like Valentino Uomo Intense. 1 minute, we'll sign off. Okay, go on the couch in there, and then I'll be in there in a second. We'll make lunch. Yeah, I will. Valentino Uomo Intense is just a good fragrance. There's not much to say about it. It feels unisexy, but I think if you're a man and you dress the part, it will masculinize the fragrance. I love Valentino Uomo Intense. I think it's slightly bubblegummy, it's fresh, it's seductive, it has iris, which is one of my favorite notes. It's one of those fragrances you just have to be confident in. You don't wear that for other men's opinion. You wear that because it's masculine, but it has a softness to it that has a familiarity to ladies that really get drawn in by that fragrance. It's a seductive fragrance. You want to ramp up in the iris category, then you might go to something like Givenchy's Reserve Privé. You might go to Dior Homme Intense or Dior Homme Parfum. But I think this is a great middle of the road fragrance where it's like somewhere in between Invictus Aqua and Dior Homme Intense. Slightly bubblegummy and fresh, but then also seductive iris that pulls you in. Really easy to wear. I think Valentino Uomo Intense is actually the best fragrance in the entire line. Not by much, but it is, just because it's the most versatile. How does Profondo smell, and is it the best Acqua di Gio for school and every day? Profondo is fresh, green, aquatic, marine aquatic. I just feel like, I did a review of Profondo a few weeks ago. I gave it a hot take. And when I look at everything, the Eau de Toilette, the EDP, Profondo, and Profumo, Profumo has the most signature. It's a little less versatile than all the others because of the slight incense note behind it, but it's the most masculine, the most signature fragrance out of the line. The one with the most utility is going to be the EDT, and then there's somewhat of a tie between the EDP and Profondo. And the reason why is because the EDP, the latest release, has a little bit more green herbal note to it, but it's still fresh, utility, everyday wear. Profondo feels more sporty, more spritzy, but you don't lose with Profondo. But in my opinion, a lot of guys 25 and down wear Profondo just because obviously it smells like one of the most versatile freshies of all time, and it is. But I think the older you get, the more basic Profondo feels. You know what I'm saying? So I typically lean on Profumo. Profumo if I want the most signature. EDP if I want the most unique. And original Eau de Toilette if I just want something safe every day. But that's just me. I highly recommend you go into a Sephora, put your nose on all of them, because depending on your age and how many fragrances you have in your collection right now, your opinion will change on what makes sense for you right now. What would you recommend under $100? That's too generic. I'm sorry. What cologne should I get next? I'll get whatever you say. No, I don't want to do it. There's no context. I'm not a crystal ball of fragrance. I like context. I like leading people to something that makes sense. There's so many fragrances under the sun. That's just not a great question. Acqua di Gio over Dior Homme and Sport for school / every day. Yes, absolutely. But the thing is you can smell both of those, Jackson. So just go into Kohl's, Sephora, or Ulta Beauty and smell them for yourself. Honestly, Dior Homme Sport is amazing for every day. You can't lose. But if you want to get Profondo, they're both pretty similar. It's just slightly different smells, if that makes sense. So my final pick for you is to go Profondo or Dior Homme Sport. If it was me, I would go Dior Homme Sport. How much is your fragrances? I have fragrances that are $13. I have fragrances that are $500. What is your favorite fragrance? Don't have one. Have you tried Nassam water-based perfumes? I haven't. I should try them though. What do you think about Paco Rabanne Invictus? Boy toy. Spectra Wraith is good for boys in their 20s. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, absolutely. Invictus is very good, a bit sweet. My dude, you forgot to address my question though. Like I said, guys, so many people ask questions in here. If I don't address your question, copy it and paste it in the comment section of my video, and I will answer it within the hour. You got to just understand, between moderating and people asking so many different technical questions and me being long-winded, I might not answer your question, and that happens. Fresh, subtle, everyday, office, affordable. I already gave you that. I'm not agree on Lumiere. How do you feel about Versace Eros EDT? One of the best, most versatile fragrances of all time. Which cologne gets you the most compliments? Many of my colognes. Have you ever tried Blue Moon Ginger Dash by Kilian? It's incredible for me. It's nice, but Qatar, Maj Mule from Paris Corner is a 1-to-1 clone of it for $20. So it is a great fragrance, but there's a clone that smells just like it. Man, this is my first time watching you, and my perspective towards the scents heavily coincides with yours, but you're obviously more experienced. Great work. Forget the trolls. I'm going to go to sleep. Hey, I appreciate you, man. We always sweep the trolls out, man. Sometimes people really have just genuine disagreements, but they just don't know how to communicate them without sounding like somebody who just goes into random lives and tries to make a point to feel good about themselves. And in reality, from the moment they type it, nobody cares. But it just makes them feel valuable in life. So, you know, if that works for them, let them do it. Any clone of Aventus. Yes, if you want Nishane Hasavat Aventus style, Off-Non Supremacy Collector's Edition, that's this one right here. If you want something more original Aventus, you're going to go with Latafa Pre-Show and or Armaf Pre-Show. If you can't afford $40 for a clone and you want to spend closer to $20, $25, the best one is going to be Club de Nuit Intense Limited Edition Parfum with the red writing on the black bottle. I love more unisex scents. Currently, my signature is Fox and Flowerbed by Imaginary Authors. Love some good florals. Hey, speaking of florals, I just bought my wife Bond No. 9 New York Flowers. She absolutely loves it. Anyone who's a fan of Libre from YSL, this is that, but more hyper real. The old Cafe Rose from Tom Ford is dope. The new I find bad. Yeah, you know, I was just smelling that fragrance yesterday, and I agree. I completely agree. I feel like the new Cafe Rose today smells really good in the opening, and then literally 5 minutes into it, this fragrance is gone. It's not even what it was. Uomo Intense or Born in Roma. The black bottle Uomo Intense or Born in Roma. Which one were you describing? Oh, if you're talking, excuse me. If you're talking about this one, this is a clone. Valencia Uomo Intense for $13, 100 ml. And it's cloning the original designer, Valentino Uomo Intense. Not Born in Roma. They're very close, but Roma Intense is a little more bubblegummy, so it's a little bit less versatile. It feels younger. It's closer to like Prada Luna Rosa Ocean, that type of vibe. But to me, Valentino Uomo Intense is the most versatile Valentino fragrance. It's fresh. It's got some iris seduction in there, but it's still super fresh, so it's very versatile. So you should either get a clone like Valencia Uomo Intense or the original Valentino Uomo Intense black bottle. That's going to be way more versatile. Born in Roma is getting a lot of attention right now because it is a really good fragrance, but to me, it's more of a date night fragrance. It's not an everyday seductive, super fresh wear. I equate Valentino Uomo Intense with like Versace Eros. They're slightly seductive, but they're mostly just fresh and versatile. Okay, guys, we finally got to the bottom. Like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, make sure you turn on that notification bell. We drop episodes every single day. In fact, right after I get off this video in about an hour or two, I'll drop my latest episode for the day. I have over 30 episodes queued up for the rest of the week. We go live. We drop shorts. We give away fragrances all the time. And I do collabs. I also have my patented game show, Wheel of Fragrance, where we spin a wheel and have 30 seconds to pick fragrances from our collection that match the different topics to provide some entertainment in fragrance. And it's really fun. So make sure you guys follow if you're new to the channel. Looking at the final thoughts here, Bond No. 9 has some great fragrances, but man, their prices shot through the roof over the last few years. Yeah, man. I mean, go to a Neiman Marcus, smell the entire Bond No. 9 line, and then tell them which ones you like and say, hey, do you have samples of this? Like, for instance, when I went there yesterday with my son, they have little Tootsie Roll samples of everything from Bond No. 9. So, like, here's Lafayette Street right here. They have tons of these on deck. So just tell them which ones you like, and they'll give you samples to take home. And then if you like them, just like Tom Ford or anything, there's a ton of amazing Bond No. 9 clones. Greenwich Village, Lafayette Street, Wall Street, you know, tons of them. Invictus Victory Elixir is just okay. There's a lot of better options. Platinum and Victory Elixir are almost on the same page, you know. When you go to that metallic aqua take. There's just so many different variations, and I talk about a lot of them on my channel. So definitely hit the videos button and type Aqua, and you'll find a lot of great videos. What's your thoughts on Prada Luna Rossa Carbon? It's good. I like it. My favorite right now, because I hate Mancera's Red Tobacco, and this made me revisit Mancera Tobacco because to me it's a way better version of the Red Tobacco DNA, is Prada Luna Rossa Le Parfum. It's the red glass top. Absolutely amazing. It's what Mancera Red Tobacco should have been. And if you even kind of like Mancera Red Tobacco, you will insanely love Prada Luna Rossa Le Parfum. Thank you guys so much. Shout outs to all you, Dominican, Kevin, Hani, Nish, I don't know, Pereira. Appreciate you guys. That's awesome, Nish. That's great. I'm happy for you. Hey, listen, guys, stay tuned. We're going to continue to go live, drop content, and keep giving you guys value. Really love you guys. Appreciate all of the engagement. I try to address everybody. I try to give you the best answer. I try not to just be generic. If I don't think the question is helpful, yeah, I might skip over it, but I'll let you know, and I'll let you know why I'm skipping over it. But we drop so many nuggets of content in these lives, you could just run it back and play it through. If there was a question that I haven't answered, copy your question, put it in the comment section, and I answer all questions within an hour of the posting of this live, which will happen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is the Scent Bubble. Be blessed. Signing off.